Hi guys, so today we're going to go over inequalities. Now we have graphed inequalities before, and what we're going to do today is we're going to start it off by solving it like it's an equation, meaning rather than an inequality less than, greater than, less than or greater than or equal to, greater than or equal to symbol, I'm going to rewrite it as an equal sign. So first thing I did was underline it, so once I'm done solving, I can remember that it's an inequality and not an equation. And since it's quadratic, meaning the highest power is 2, I'm going to make one side of the equal sign equal to 0. And since on the left there are no like terms, one has x squared, one has x, and the other doesn't have any variable at all, which is the constant, I'm going to bring all three down, and the other side equals to 0. So remember quadratic equation, highest power is 2. You can solve by factoring, quadratic formula, and if you want to, completing the square. It can be factored, so I'm going to factor in this case. I'm going to find two numbers that multiply to be a times c, meaning it has to multiply to be 1 times 2, which is 2, and add up to be the middle number b. So it has to add up to be -3. Now, 2 is a prime number, so 1 times 2 would pretty much be it. However, since it also has to add up to be -3, remember if I multiply two positive numbers, it'll give me a positive, and also if I multiply two negative numbers, it'll also give me a positive. And if I add up -1 plus -2, that will give me -3. Once I find the two numbers, I always put a and split up the x squared. So I put 1x over each number. I'm not actually going to put the 1 because you don't really see that there. And since there's nothing to reduce, those are my two parentheses. The first one will read x minus 2. Sorry, the first one will read x minus 1. The next one will read x minus 2. It equals to 0. Since it's factored and the other side equals to 0, you can use zero product property, meaning set each parentheses equal to 0, and you're going to solve for x. So for the first one, I'm going to add 1 to both sides, and I'll get x equals 1. For the other one, I will add 2 to both sides and get x equals to 2. And now comes the point where I remember this is an inequality. So I'm going to put these two numbers on a number line. So from here, I'm going to test out some numbers to see which works. Now, remember that the symbol is less than, so I could use that here. I could write that here and here. I'm saying that because I'm going to substitute x in the place of the variable, or I'm going to substitute the value of x in the place of the variable, and I can use any of these equations. So first place I'm going to start off is between 1 and 2. If I pick a number between 1 and 2, let's go with, actually, let me start here on the left of 1, because then that'll be easier. I'm going to start with 0. Okay, so in this case, I'm going to plug it into, I guess, the original function just to keep things simple. If I replace all the x's with 0. 0 squared is 0. 0 minus 3 times 0 is also 0. Is 0 less than -2? It is not. If I have $0, it is not going to be less than me owing somebody $2. So that means, since the number to the left of 1 doesn't work, that's out. I'm also going to now try to go on this side and pick a number to the right of 2. So x equals 3. I'm going to use the original function again. So if I replace all the x squares, or sorry, all the x with 3, I'll get 3 squared minus 3 times 3, which is less than -2. So I have 9 minus 3 times 3, which is also 9, is less than -2. 0, once again, is not less than -2, so the numbers to the right of 2 also doesn't work. And then you can test a number between 1 and 2, which could be like 1.5. Plug it into your calculator if you want to. It does work, just to save some time here. So that means the inequality, all the numbers that are being used, because remember, since it's not equal, there's more than one solution. Just like when we shaded, there was more than one xy solution. The numbers that can be used in this inequality range from 1 to 2. All right, so from here, we're going to go to the next problem, solving it the same way. I'm just going to kind of underline this. It's an absolute value, but it's an inequality, so I'm going to solve it like it is a regular equation. So the goal when you're solving absolute values is first to get the absolute value by itself. Easy enough. It's being multiplied by 9. We'll divide both sides by 9. So when you are solving absolute value equations, what you have to remember is that you're going to have two solutions, but you have to set up the two solutions, meaning you're going to set x minus 2 equal to 4, and just like it says, x minus 2 equals to 4, and x minus 2 equals negative 4, because once upon a time, x minus 2 could have equal to negative 4, but then you took the absolute value of it, which made it positive 4. So we don't know. It could have happened. So remember, when you solve using absolute value, you're going to write exactly what it says, and the other one will equal to the negative value of what it says on the other side of the equal sign. So if I solve for x here, x will equal 6, and here, x will equal negative 2. So what I'm going to do is the same thing I did before. On a number line, I'm going to put the number negative 2 and 6. Remember, negative 2 is smaller than 6, so on the number line it would be on the left. I'm going to test out some numbers. So because I am a fan of testing out 0, it's just the easiest. I'm going to test out between negative 2 to 6 first. So if I replace x with 0, I'm going to go with the original inequality just to kind of keep things consistent as the last problem. I have 9 and the absolute value of 0 minus 2. Well, 0 minus 2 is negative 2. If I take the absolute value of negative 2, I'm going to get positive 2. And then 9 times 2 is 18. Is 18 less than 36? It is, which means between these two numbers is the interval that works, which means the answer is between negative 2 to 6. And if you want to just be really thorough with it, you can test out the numbers to the left of negative 2, like, for instance, you can test out negative 3. It won't work, by the way. And you can also test out a number to the right of 6, like 7, which also won't work. All right, guys, hope this helps.